And as I sat up, oh, the light just went straight through and I could see it, and I was bang, I was like that. I was back to square one. Mine almost starts in a bit of vanity. I'm actually a wrestling referee. Think WWE, that kind of thing, although I'm not in those leagues at the moment. I'm getting myself sorted. So I'm having to look in mirrors, and if we were lucky enough, you get quite a lit changing room so you can see yourself properly. And my hair's always been slicked back, like the undercut kind of look. And
Yeah.
I had a real big pompadour and everything, and it almost became part of my wrestling referee character. I was very self-conscious of the fact that I'm in that ring being watched for 3 hours in a row, and so everything's got to look the part. And I'd be standing in front of the mirror, and it was the first point I realized I could see like about this part of my head, and I thought, I must be really strong lights in here. And it happened at the next event. I could see my scalp, but my hair wasn't wet. I'd look at photos and I'd see me from the side. From the side, looked brilliant. It looked great. But once I saw it, I couldn't not see it.
Yeah.
And that was a seed, and that was the catalyst. You start taking the pictures. I think I was quite unfortunate in the fact that my thinning started right in the center. I ended up doing, I was swooping it across. I tried some of the fibers. Speaking to my other half, she could barely notice it, but
Yeah.
once I'd seen it, that was it. I've got a large family, and I've got 4 older brothers, and they all lost their hair really early on. They've all got the horseshoe now, but I got to 30 and I still had all of my hair, and I thought, oh, I'm onto a winner here. I don't know what's happened. I didn't seem to be following the trend, and it was like I jinxed it, because it was like that next year. And this has been the hardest part for me, is that it doesn't happen straight away. I think if I wait, I always said to myself, like a lot of people do, if I go thin, if I lose my hair, I'm just going to take it all off. But it's not a single event. You don't wake up and go, oh, well, it's all fallen out, I'll just buzz it down. It's a gradual thing. It almost feels like nature's being cruel.
Prolonging the pain, dragging it out, you mean?
Yeah, definitely. I still haven't lost lots and lots compared to some other guys. But in the last 6 months, I've started getting the patch slightly at the back. I know that some people will be like, nah, it's kind of okay, but it's almost like nature's taking it so far. And it's at a point where when I brush it back, it doesn't look great. If I bring it forward, you can now see what looks like almost like a zebra pattern. That's what's sort of led me on to a double shave, where I've gone through a shaving process and then thought that looks great, and almost been in denial and gone through the process again. I did what everybody does, and I went to the guru that is YouTube, and I started going, when should I shave my thinning hair, or is thinning hair loss solutions? So I looked through solutions first of all. I must admit, I was already sort of not sold on the idea of surgery or any kind of sort of medical intervention. I didn't like the idea of taking medication for something that was natural. Now, if I was losing my hair because I had an illness, completely different subject, But I was losing my hair because that's what happens. And it was only my emotional state that was fighting against it, not my physical state. My physical state was doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing. So I wasn't going to address it with a physical action in that respect. I guess it was almost my subconscious started almost prepping myself, knowing what the inevitable would be. It eventually would be a case of shaving it off. I mean, it is part of your identity, but how much you take it as part of yourself. And the reality of it is, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's important sometimes for your self-esteem and for your self-confidence, but it's not an important thing in itself. There's enough worries for today, so don't worry about tomorrow. There's enough things to take care of today. So one of those things is, it doesn't have to be the hair. So each day I don't have to wake up thinking, oh my goodness, that it's thinning. And so I have, when you get to that point and it's becoming a nuisance and it's becoming a bugbear, and that anxiety is kicking in, like, what are other people going to feel? I feel that you come to a crossroads, like a fork in the roads, and you either say it's fine, it's thinning hair, it's natural, that's what's going to happen, and I've just, I'm confident with it, or this is a natural process, but I'm not okay with it. Because, and I know I'm not, I've tried to convince myself I am, but I look at it each day. And even when I haven't taken a picture for a few days, I'm then taking 10 more. It's one of those things. So I got to that point and I said, enough's enough. I've got enough to think about, enough to worry about. I don't need another thing to worry about. And as much as this is important to me, it's not important in the grand scheme of things. It's one of those things, isn't it? And it's when it's a collective thing. You don't need advice to just put a pair of clippers over your head. But at the same time, there is good advice there. You go, okay, and you realise what you're doing is you're warming round to the idea. I didn't pick a particular day. I just woke up and I was like, today it's happening. I watched one or two more videos. I think it was a couple of pictures sort of before and afters, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I would say is that I have, and it isn't just because of I was in the mindset of like I need some kind of confidence building. I've never seen a before and after where the after looks worse than the before.
No.
Every single time, you're like, it either makes you look younger, healthier, I don't know, more fuller. I'm hoping
Yeah.
these things for myself. I went through all these different things, and I was like, every one of these guys is, they're doing well for themselves. You can want to come across as confident as possible, and I mean, I often would. I'd be in a wrestling ring again in front of hundreds of people, and people, they're kind of really surprised that you don't get nervous or anything, and I'd be out there really enjoying myself. But that didn't translate to when I was on my own and I was looking at myself and that, and it was really odd because that was the first time in my adult life where I'd really had my confidence knocked. When I first noticed my hair thinning, I don't know why, it just shook me, and that was quite unnerving. I should imagine, again, there's a lot of guys out there that get that same thing. There's a guy called Joseph Campbell, and there's something called the hero's journey, a metaphorical journey that this hero character goes throughout their life, and the same storyline has been throughout all of history. It could be an individual, it could be a group, and they go through this personal journey and they fight demons, or in this sense, in his narrative, it's dragons, and it's these things that really shake them and troublesome. It's their own sort of personal demons, and obviously in the stories it's real dragons, but it's all metaphor. And the hero is always on this circular journey where it goes from the known and into the unknown. And when he's going through this process, he meets different people. And so this is again for all of us guys, we all go through it. We meet a series of characters along the line. There's helpers, there's mentors, there's temptation, and there's challenges, and we get challenges at all those stages. And if we don't overcome that challenge, we don't get onto that next part of the journey. And that's where I got with my hair. I suddenly got stuck in it, and my hero's journey couldn't continue anymore. I needed to break through something. I needed to break through the temptation of like trying something different, or trying to hold on to some kind of mortality, or there's all these different things. We can take it like really, really far, and blow it kind of out of proportion. But I just think it's helpful to understand that when it's something about us that we can't necessarily alter, so for example, natural balding, or natural thinning, I know we can cover it up, but we can't reverse that time. We can't change that state. And so there's something in there, I think, that we can find, that we can learn from, and we can develop as individuals. And whether that's confronting a fear, or whether that's just for some people that isn't a challenge, that isn't part of their journey. It's just a pothole in the road. But for other people, for me, I didn't expect it, but it was a fork in the road. That was a decision point. So there's so much more enjoyment out there, and there's so many more challenges for us guys. There's so many more things to encounter and to experience, and there's way more exciting adventures and challenges for us that don't involve our hair. It's almost like it's a really simple hook. You can catch a large fish on a tiny hook, and that's what this is. It's like it's balding, and it's that one tiny little point just holds us back, and people don't realize that. Again, I know it's another analogy, but to just cut that line from that fishing rod, that metaphorical hook, it just frees everything, and you're on to another day. It sounds like it's blown out of proportion, but honestly, you're right. It's that weight off of your shoulders. I just got it off, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, there's more there than I realized.
Yeah.
And obviously that's why we're talking a few months later.
What was it then that led you to growing it back?
So I ended up leaving it, and then I ended up leaving it and leaving it. I thought, oh well, the hair's coming through. It was about 4 weeks later that someone had taken a picture of me and one of my friends. We was out on a walk, and we turned around and I took a picture, and I looked, I thought, oh, I can see right through again. But for whatever reason, I just didn't shave it at that point because I thought, "Oh, well, I don't know if their hair's coming back through, or maybe it was stress." Tried telling myself all these different things,
Mm.
and ended up just letting it grow through because I got out of the habit of taking pictures.
Yeah.
That had become a habit. And I woke up, and opposite where my bed is, there's a large mirror. And as I sat up, oh, the light just went straight through, and I could see it, and I was bang. I was like that. I was back to square one. And then since then, until a couple of days ago, it just got worse and worse and worse again. It all came back. It was like the muscle memory in my brain remembered how to be anxious on it. And
Yeah.
it's probably worth clarifying that I was experiencing anxiety in a different way on that. So obviously, with looking at anxiety, and I think this is one reason why perhaps as guys we don't tend to either admit if we're anxious or something like that, because we tend to associate the word anxiety with being scared.
Yeah.
And so, anxiety can be overworrying about something. It can be overthinking about something. There's all these different sort of forms of anxiety in that respect. In this sense, probably the best way I can describe it is it was like an itch in the roof of your mouth. It was just that niggling thought, and it just wouldn't go. It was this progressively growing thought of it's thinning, and I couldn't walk into a room or anywhere without kind of like looking at my hair as I go in. And that's what I got in the habit of, ducking down like that and just going like that.
Yeah.
And then of course it was one day during December, I think. It'd been raining, and I walked in, and I walked straight into our downstairs toilet shower room, and sort of walked in, and I just looked in the mirror like that, and I could see the back of my head from the front.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was like, right, it is
No.
coming off. Went through the process again. It was about another month
Right.
before going, right, I'm going to do it January the 1st. I'm going to start the year off. And I think it was about January the 5th.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because I knew this time that was it. I'd shaved it off. I built all that energy up, and I'd had that moment, and the moment that so many of the people you speak to as well have, and where you feel relieved and you think, I look great, and I did look great. I could be confident in that. I didn't need to be vain. I was like, no, this looks good. Every shirt looks great. And for whatever reason, and as I said to you, when we was messaging, I can't be the only person that experiences this. That because when you shave it, when you've got it down like that, it does look really good as well. I really liked the completely shaved look, but even this looks better than than what I had. And that's what was bizarre, is I just for whatever reason I just grew it back. It was almost like I convinced myself that, oh well, it looks great, I can grow my hair through and that'll look even better. And of
Right.
course,
Okay.
it's not like my hair would suddenly miraculously grow back or anything. Like I said, it wasn't caused by a medical problem. It was caused by natural aging, or
Yeah.
natural processes.
And so how do you feel now then? Does it feel different this time?
Absolutely. That's it for me. My longer follicle journey, that's definitely that's definitely passed. I started going through my wardrobe, almost like, to try that shirt on. It looks good with a hoodie on that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back down the gym and look a bit buffer with it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to find the fault in this thing, other than I've done it at perhaps the coldest time of the year. Other than that, it was, it wasn't
Yeah.
a problem. There's so much more to enjoy, and there's far more important things to worry about. It doesn't belittle the impact and the almost torturous kind of feelings, but it's remembering that all of those feelings, all of those thoughts, are only coming from within. So perhaps it's sometimes reflecting more of what's going on the inside than really what's going on the outside. It's been difficult as someone who thinks of themselves sometimes like a man's man kind of thing, to go, do you know what, I need to show myself a bit of self-love and a bit of self-care. I need to be less harsh on myself, and I need to just accept some of these other things for what they are, because life's out there for enjoying, and yeah, I'm just keen to see what happens next.